Look at that. Errol Spence gets at Terence Crawford. But wait, there's more. Terence Crawford claps back. We're going to talk about it starting right now. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. You see it on the screen. Errol Spence Jr., verified tweet. He said, this bum N-I-G-G-A. I'd rather be a N-I-G-G-A so we could get drunk, smoke weed all day. If y'all know the song, let me know in the comment section. Also, subscribe to my channel. It goes a long way when you guys hit the bell icon, subscribe. Anyway, Errol Spence, he posted this. I seen it. And who is he referring to? Brian McIntyre, BOMAC. So in the tweet, he posted, I guess this is the box rec of Terence Crawford's trainer, BOMAC. He had a record of 7-14, 9 knockouts suffered in his 14 losses, no draws. And I guess he had 2 KOs. Errol Spence saw that, and for whatever reason, he decided to shoot at and dunk on Team Crawford. Now, Terence Crawford obviously seen it, and this is what he said. At Errol Spence, look at that guy record though. That's the guy who gonna beat yo ass in real life, not the guy you just posted for likes. And of course, that's his contemporary, Errol Spence, a contemporary. Terence Crawford posted himself with a record of 38-0, no draws. So Errol's undefeated, Crawford's undefeated. This is most certainly starting to heat up. Now, I'll be honest. I know Terence Crawford was supporting his homies. Keyshawn Davis, BOMAC was in the corner and training Keyshawn. Congrats on his knockout. And then Shakur Stevenson is very friendly with Crawford, and that's his boy. And, you know, that clique is pretty tight. So Crawford was in Vegas enjoying the festivities and lending that big bro support to Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis. So nothing really out of the ordinary there. Shakur Stevenson just dominated, absolutely dominated Oscar Valdez. He is now a Ring Magazine, and he has 2 more belts. So he has a total of 3 belts, and he's looking like the guy to beat, and he's looking like the man at 130 pounds. Really going to be very difficult. Check out some of my other videos where I break down Oscar Valdez failed performance versus Shakur Stevenson and what Shakur Stevenson did right. I'm going to try to break down the fight in detail on my channel, so that should be up shortly. Again, you guys got to subscribe to the channel for that. So I don't know what caused Errol Spence to draw first blood like Rambo and post that about BOMAC, but it obviously, some people probably tagged Terence Crawford, or he follows Errol and he's seen it and he responded like he did. And he said, look at this guy though. Don't worry about BOMAC. Don't worry about my manager / trainer. Worry about this guy, because I'm going to beat your So listen, the fight, it needs to happen. 2 undefeated fighters, 2 American fighters, 2 American styles, 2 black fighters, 2 guys with a certain dog in their craft. They don't get it done the same way. Crawford's ambidextrous. I think Crawford is the sharper puncher. He's cat-like. He's agile. He's very athletic. Errol Spence is like a buzzsaw, and he grinds you down, whoops you with attrition and fundamentals. Great jab, body shots and combination punches in the pocket is very vicious. This is just, you know, it's a classic Marvin Hagler versus Hearns for this era type of fight that could happen. And I know there's a lot of conflicting things on the internet about how people feel about Errol Spence and should he have fought Terence Crawford before now. You know, some people are suggesting that Errol Spence ducked and he waited for whatever reason. To me, that sounds foolish, because Errol Spence, it just doesn't, like, nobody in boxing has proven me wrong. Nobody in boxing can explain to me how it makes sense to have seen Terence Crawford, who was with Top Rank up until the Sean Porter fight, and have seen and watched that fight, when Crawford only has one belt, the WBO belt that he garnered in his very first fight, beating Jeff Horn. I was at that fight, right? So he's only had one belt his whole duration of being at welterweight. So 5-6 fights or whatever he got, he's been at welterweight. Errol Spence's first fight where he fought for a title was the Kell Brook fight in 2017. So at no other point, even when Crawford became undisputed at 140, beating Ndongo, another fight I went to and covered, at no other point since his first fight was the only belt fight with Jeff Horn, at no other point would all the belts be on the line. So who would want to see Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight, and then they would still have to have fought other people with the remaining belts? Like, let's say Sean Porter and Errol never fought. Let's say Errol and Ugas never fought. So Errol, in the meantime, collected all these belts and made the job easier. And then they both called each other out. So I don't really understand. If you need proof of that, I'm glad you asked. Roll the clip.
What's next?
Oh, well, everybody know who I want next. I want Terence Crawford next.
I'm looking for you, Errol. Where you at? I'm in the ocean. You say you the big fish. I'm looking for you. Where your ass at? Oh, whole ass. Well, you got a lot of room to hide in this. I don't know if I can find you in the ocean. See, this the ocean big in the mother, man. We ain't gonna be able to find your punk ass out here. Got a lot of places to hide.
Boom. So you never know. So I've just proved right there that both guys are on wax calling each other out. And I can make additional videos should anyone doubt. But Errol Spence has always maintained the same thing, that he was going to clean up his side of the street, and then they could make the business make sense and make the fight. So I prefer it to happen how Errol Spence laid it out. And that's him brand himself, keep fighting, Crawford keep fighting. He had access to other PBC fighters that were damn good and or champions, and he cleaned all that up and gathered all the belts and put it in one centralized location. And now it just made the Terence Crawford Errol Spence fight that much sweeter, because one fight will determine the end all be all. Now, Amanda Serrano just fought Katie Taylor, and I was disgusted because it was a robbery, but same kind of concept. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano fighting for all the titles. So that fight, even though that's not a great example based on what I just told you, there was a robbery there, but you guys get the point. Two people meet in the square circle, and the decided winner is undisputed. Or another example would be Errol Spence's boy and stablemate, Jermell Charlo, his upcoming fight with Brian Castaño. That is another example of two guys, and by the end of the fight, even though the first fight ended in a draw, so if it doesn't end in a draw this time, then this will establish the end all be all and who's the person to beat in the 154 pound category. So it's the same concept. Crawford and Errol at no other time would have been that, because Errol Spence hadn't collected all the belts. Now that he snatched the belts, this fight makes all the sense in the world. I'm not fully sold, even though they're doing the back and forth and there's a banter and Errol's roasting BOMAC and posting his record and calling them names, and Terence Crawford responded with what he responded. I would like to hear a little bit more from Crawford as to his next plan. A lot of people have reported that he's with Daniel Kinahan, who now has a $5 million bounty, and he's wanted by the DEA and the feds. So I got to see how that plays out. So right now it's fun, undisputed, back and forth, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence. I gave you the news. Make sure you guys subscribe. I will keep you guys posted with the latest and greatest and see how this plays out. Errol strikes first blood, gets at BOMAC. Terence Crawford immediately responds with a warning. So Drop your thoughts in the comment section. And I'm out. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.